Today we are going on a very special live because this is with Melissa Maris of Raw Food Romance, and we met them in Vegas at their home this year, and we got to make vegan food together, and they took us around. They took us to the mountains. They took us, yeah, and we got to eat their wraps. We ate their tostadas. We ate their salads. We ate their ice cream. So it was amazing. So I'm really excited to sorry, have her join us. Okay, so let me just accept the and as well. All right. Hello, Jenna. Hello, Johnny Birds. Hi,
Hello.
Lisa.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. It's a nice and cool morning today, so it's not super hot. So that's
Oh,
good.
very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a decent day here too. Nice and warm, snuggling with the kitties.
Oh,
Aw.
we love your kitties so much. We're always talking about it.
Oh, they're so cute. They definitely miss you guys for
Aw.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah. Cool.
yeah,
I'm
so
excited for today's live.
yes, because I think when we visited you, you were in the midst of preparing for a retreat. You were chefing for the retreat, and then I think after we left, you guys actually went for a treat, and then you were preparing food for loads of participants, and it's all raw vegan food and really yummy and delicious from what I saw in your IG stories. So I would love to hear more about it, how you prep, what do you do, what the recipes you make. Yeah, so take it away.
Sweet. All right. Yeah. So we were asked by our friend Angelica, who is a yoga teacher. She teaches yoga teachers how to do online yoga teacher training and stuff like that. And she held a retreat in Sedona and asked if we wanted to cater that retreat. So it was for yoga teachers, and we were like, oh, yeah, that would be so much fun to do just raw food. So we made the plan, and basically we had to kind of try to figure out how much of everything we were going to
Yeah.
need, because there was going to be 16 people
Mhm.
there, including us. So it was Nate and myself. Oh, Nate and myself, and Angelica and her assistant, who were part of the organizing team, and then there were 12 participants. So we had to make enough food for 16 people, which was pretty daunting because we've never done that many before. So, like, I think the biggest party that we did was when Ted and his crew came
Mhm.
over. We did a tostada night. I think there was two, three, four, five, six, seven people for that evening. So that was a lot, but it was only one meal. It wasn't four
Yeah.
days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, we were like, okay, so what are we gonna have for breakfast? What are we
Mhm.
gonna have for lunch? What are we gonna have for dinner? And what are we going to have for snacks too? Because most people who come to things may not necessarily be raw vegan.
Yeah.
And we were worried that they might be hungry or not eat enough. So we
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we had food left out for them so that they could munch on stuff throughout the day
Yep.
instead of just waiting for the meal. So for that, what we did was we brought ripe bananas, and we had those out for everybody. We also had apples
Mhm.
and celery sticks with dates. So what I did was we washed the celery, chopped it up, and we put the celery in some fresh purified water. And that kept the celery fresh all day. And we just left it out on the table with a box of dates so people could come and just, it's really fun to like stuff the dates
Mhm.
inside the celery stick. It's a nice little snack. It's kind of savory, but it's also sweet. So it's a nice bonus, both sides. The apples, and then we had mangoes as well that we cut up for breakfast. Like, breakfast was just fruits, and people could have as much as they wanted to. So that's what we did for breakfast. For lunches, we did wraps.
Ah.
So it was really fun because we were able to roll all the wraps fresh for everybody at mealtime. So
Oh.
we didn't have them rolled already. We just did them fresh for lunch both days. I think it was only the 2 days that we did the lunches. But it was really fun. The only thing is, it's really interesting. People always ask me, Lissa, why don't you guys open a restaurant and sell the wraps? And to be completely honest, the wraps are so easy to make when you're just making one batch, right? It takes 15 minutes and you're done and you've got 4 meals, you're good to go. However, making them for multiple people, like big parties for 2, 3, 4 days, that's a lot of extra work because we can only put like 2 to 4 wraps in the dehydrator. So we would need like hundreds of dehydrators, and um, it would just cost so much more to do them on the grand scale as
Yeah.
opposed to for people to do themselves. And by the way, you and I are both in the plant-based bundle, and people
Yep.
can get the wrap book in the bundle. So if you get the bundle, link is in either of our bios. 2 days left to get it, by the way, so go get it now before it's gone. But you can make your own wraps. So what we had to do was plan out, because the wraps last a fair amount of time after they've been dried, because they're a dried food. They
Yeah.
can go about 1 or 2 or even 3 weeks if you store them properly. So we had to go backwards in time and be like, okay, if we're leaving on this day, how many wraps do we have to make each day in order to get, I think we made like 40 wraps or something like that. I can't remember exactly how many we made, but we made a lot of wraps, and so that everybody could have a wrap for those days. And since there was 16 of us, that was a lot of wraps that we had to make. Plus, we needed extra for our travel, right? So it would definitely be something that people need to look for when they are planning, is to start from the day you need everything and then go backwards. Like, how much do you need? How much do you need to prep? What do you need to do? All that kind of stuff. So you can go backwards and then say like, okay, so on Monday, I need to start doing the prep, and I need to do 6 wraps every single day until we leave, so that you have everything ready to go. So that's what we did for the wraps, and we just filled them with cashew cream cheese, lettuce, carrots, red onions, all the good stuff. The one of them we did do the tuna fish wrap. Everybody loved that one. We made the tuna fish before we left, so we brought it with us, so it was ready to go the next day. So there was a lot of things that we prepped in advance. The burger patties, we prepped the taco grounds as well. We did the salsa before we left. So we did a lot of planning and prep before we even left our
Yeah.
house. And it's only it's about a 4.5 hour drive from us. And we took our coolers, we took everything, we bought all the ingredients here, we drove them all out there. We did pick up a few things that we needed when we got into town, but we pretty much brought everything that we needed to feed 16 people for like 4 days. It was crazy. But the tostadas, the first night we made nachos. So we had the salsa, we had some guac, and we had nacho chips and a salad for people to just kind of munch on. And it's interesting with the tostadas because everybody loved them. So we wanted to make sure that we had extra
Yeah.
tostadas. And we have 9 tray dehydrators, and we have 3 of them. So I had one, and Nate had one when we got together, so we had 2, and then Excalibur gifted us one, so we have 3. So on top of making the wraps, we also had to make tostadas. And one of the days, or actually 2 of the days before we left, I made 120 tostada shells so that we had enough. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. Like, it was a lot, but hey, it was worth it. And it was nice to have everything ready so that when we were there, we didn't have to do a lot of stuff, right? We did have to prep. We did do a lot while we were there, but we got a lot of the groundwork done before we even left. So 120 tostada shells, that was enough for nachos the first night, and to have everybody was able to have 3 tostadas each for final night. So definitely have to plan, right?
Yeah.
It's really super important to plan. But again, go backwards. Go backwards. Like, when do you need to make this? When do you need to make that? And then you can plan your pre-days beforehand. So there was that, and then we also made the ramen. There is a recipe in Meal Plan 3, which is available in the bundle, and that the barbecue craze. It's like a ramen style recipe. We didn't make that one at the retreat, but we made one similar.
Okay.
And we had like this big giant bowl full of spiralized zucchini. We spiralized it all there. So really cool that we were able to do that. And one thing that I noticed at the retreat was, because these people weren't familiar with raw food, they didn't know how much to eat. And even though we showed them, like, we plated up our own plates with a huge abundance, we showed them how much should be on their plates. Even after showing them, they still didn't take the amount that they needed. So we were kind of worried that they might be a little bit hungry because they just weren't eating enough. So we stressed, like, you gotta get more calories in. So on the last night when we did the burger night, or one of the last nights, we did a burger night with a side salad, and we plated it up for them, so that they could see how much they needed to eat. And we found people really liked that, as opposed to them kind of, you know, making it themselves, because they would put so little on their plates, and we're like, you guys need more than that. But it was really fun. The wrap prep was really cool, because we had to wrap like 8 wraps every day that we were there, and that took maybe like, it was about 45 minutes, but it ended up being like an hour and a half, because people would ask questions, and then we would pause, we'd talk about stuff. So we rolled them up as a class. So, during the retreat, during the retreat, people were able to come and hang out with us in the kitchen while we rolled up their lunches, so they would be able to see how to do the wraps. So that was really cool too. But it was a really fun experience. We had a blast. And we will be doing it again this year with Angelica. So it's open to yoga teachers. And yeah, it's going to be in Sedona again at the same place. And we're going to make the same stuff, except we might switch out a few of the dressings to make it a little more interesting for us, because we ate that stuff already. But yeah, it'll be really fun. We're excited for it.
Nice. So someone was asking, how big is your dehydrator? I think someone asked.
Yeah, so we have the Excalibur 9 tray. We have 3 of them. So the trays are 14 by 14 square, and we like that one because it fits the big silicone mats to make the big wraps. But, if you have a smaller one, you can still make the wraps using the smaller 10 by 12 trays. It's just that one batch of the wraps will make exactly 3 of the 12 by 10 trays, instead of 2 of the 14 by 14. Because if you do the dimensions and the square inchage, it's pretty much the same. So you could do 3 of the small ones or 2 of the big ones with one batch of the wraps, which is really nice. But we do have the 9 tray Excalibur, and that's the one we like the most.
So how many trays did you use when you had the Excalibur running, when you made the wraps?
Yeah, so for the wraps, the best is to do 2 trays in the 9 trays. The reason being is because the more trays that you fill, the less the airflow. So, when there's not very much airflow going on in there, it takes a lot longer to dry. So we found that the sweet spot is 2 to 4 wraps max. If we start doing more than 4 trays in the dehydrator, everything takes so much longer. 4 trays takes longer than 2 trays, and 8 trays, 6 or 8 trays takes like double the amount of time to dry. Just because, the airflow is blocked by all the trays and everything's so close together, and it's so hydrating that, there's a lot going on. It takes a lot longer to dry. But we found the sweet spot is 2 to 4 wraps. The best is 2 wraps. They're done in like 10 hours over here in the desert.
Okay.
So they dry really, really fast. But again, the more you have in there, the longer it's going to take to dry.
So do you have like spreadsheets and Google Docs, or was it all like handwritten? Or yeah, how do you do your planning?
Oh, I like that one. We did both. We had, I do like to handwrite my plans because I can scribble all over the place and change things. And so we did have a Google Doc that Angelica made for us to kind of go over what was the plan, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. Oh, we did desserts too. We did desserts as well. So we did in Holiday Menu Volume 2, which is one that you get when you buy the bundle. You get Holiday Menu 1, 2, and 3, the brand new one that just released. But in Holiday Menu 2, there's an avocado tart.
Ah,
They are
yes, I saw that. Yes.
they are next level delicious. It's probably my favorite of all time dessert, raw. So we made those one of the nights. Another night we made Nate's brownies, which you can get in his dude food book.
Yes. I love
Angelica's
those
in the house right
brownies.
now. Angelica's in here.
Hi, Angelica.
Angelica's the one that runs the retreat. She said the avocado tart was amazing.
Oh, I need to
So
make
yeah,
that.
yes, you definitely have to. But yeah, Angelica had a Google spreadsheet for us, so we knew what we were going to make, kind of just a general guide of what we wanted to make. And then I used my notepad to just kind of like scribble around what I was doing. And then that's when I would do that backtrack, where I would be like, okay, we're leaving on Wednesday morning or whatever. Then it would be like, what am I doing Tuesday? What am I doing Monday? What am I doing Sunday? What am I doing Saturday? What are we doing Friday, right? Like the week before. What do we have to do every single day to make the Google Doc a reality? How are we going to make that happen? So yeah, it was kind of a mix of both Google Doc and scribbles.
Yeah, so the recipes are they so everything that you made at the retreat, I think most of the recipes are in your ebooks and courses in the bundle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they are. So the fruit obviously is just fruit.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything recipe wise for that. But the brownies are in Nate's Dude Food. The avocado tarts are in Holiday Menu 2.
Yeah.
The ramen that we made, you could make the barbecue craze. That's in Meal Plan Volume 3.
Okay.
We did the tacos, which are in the taco book. We made the wraps, which are in the hand salads book. We did the burgers. There are a few burger recipes in the Tales from the Tailgate on the Road ebook. So there's burgers in there. Yeah, I'm thinking next time we might do sushi.
Oh.
Yeah, we might make some raw
Yeah.
sushi next retreat. We'll see. But yeah, it was so much fun. We're excited to do it again.
So where do you source your ingredients?
So for the retreat, we did. Angelica really wants sushi. We'll do sushi next time. Yes,
You have a huge
so much fun
request. Yes, and you have sushi recipes in the bundle as well, right?
Yes, there are sushi recipes in the Party Food ebook and in the Alive Lunch video course. So yeah, Alive Lunch is so amazing. There's 35 hours worth of video content of us making raw food, right? So people love it because they get to see us do everything instead of just following the recipe. They can see exactly what we're doing. And the cool thing about Alive Lunch is you can collect all of the ingredients for the recipe and then you can follow along with us. Like you could do it with us on the video. So that's a really cool bonus for Alive Lunch. And that video course alone retails for $330, but you get it, you can download it and enjoy it as part of the bundle. So for $50, you get so much content. It's so crazy. But yeah, sourcing ingredients, we shopped at both Whole Foods and Winco. Oh, and we also did Costco as well. So yeah, And we took you to Winco and Costco when you were here.
I'm trying to remember. Did we go to Winco? I know we went to Costco, we went to
Costco.
Sprouts, we went
Yeah.
to
Maybe we
um
did
there were the
do Winco.
Asian markets. We went to
Yes.
four. I think
Yeah, I
we
think
went
we did
to
go to Winco.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
we didn't go to Winco. We went to Ranch. Did we go to Ranch 99? Or what was
Yes,
that?
you did. Yep, that
Yeah.
was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That
we kind of those are the four places that we shopped. But we got as much as we possibly could for the retreat, and there were a few things that we needed to get when we got into town. Like we were like, oh, we forgot cilantro, or we forgot like random things. So the store
yeah.
was, yeah,
I always feel right, even though I have this huge list of everything, I have a checklist and I cross out everything. I always seem to forget something when I'm doing like, my pop-up dinners and all that. I'm like, how can I forget this when it's all on my list?
right. I know that happens to us too. But luckily there was a store really nearby, so Nate was able to hop out while I was preparing some other stuff, and he went and grabbed the ingredients. But yeah, it went really well. We had a great time.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're doing it for people who are, who have never, they're not raw vegan, right? So like I'm just wondering like how was their response to that? Did they ask for cooked food, or were they just like, very open and curious about what raw food is? Or is it just because you make very friendly raw food? It's the kind that us would eat as well, because if I give him a huge bowl of salad, he may have like a quarter of it, but not a huge giant salad. But like when you guys just fed him tostadas and wild bloom rice and burgers, and he was just raw for those 3 whole days without even knowing it.
That was awesome. I know we had so much fun feeding you guys. It was great. We had a blast. But yeah, I think it's a combination of um, that they were genuinely curious to try the raw food and see how it was. They had lots of questions. Like we would be in the kitchen prepping, and we'd have a bunch of random people come up and ask questions like, "How do you do
Oh,
this? You do, where do you get your protein?" And the standard
oh,
questions that we were getting.
okay. Yeah.
How much to eat and why you're doing this way and stuff. So there were a lot of general questions that people were asking, which we're happy to answer. And they were all really curious. And when they signed up, they knew it was going to be all raw.
Okay.
So they were aware before coming in that it was going to be raw and vegan. So they knew that in advance. But yeah, we chose meals that would be more appealing to people who weren't even familiar with raw food. Like
Mm.
some of them didn't even know, what kind of stuff we were going to make. So it was really it was really good that they had that opportunity to try. And at the end of the retreat, we had so many people come up and say, I feel so good. I have so much energy.
Oh, that's good.
Like
Nice.
this felt really amazing. Like I'm going to the bathroom regularly, even after
Yeah.
just a short amount of time. Their yoga practice improved. They just felt better. They slept better. Not only was it a retreat, of course, people are going to feel good on a retreat, but they felt really good with the meals that we served for them. And yeah, I think they really enjoyed it. I think their favorites were obviously the wraps. Many people loved the tostadas. The burgers were a big hit. They really liked the burgers. And we made a slaw. There's actually a slaw recipe in, I believe it's in Make It Raw 2, is one of the slaws that we used
Oh, okay.
for that. Yeah. So, like we made lots of really awesome salads. We made the divine lime sauce, which you can get in Meal Plan 3, which is in the bundle as well.
Oh yeah, I've made
Um,
that before.
yeah, that was a really good one. That's kind of our go-to. People were using it as a wrap sauce, so they
Oh.
were drizzling it on their wraps and enjoying that. So yeah, I think everybody really loved it. And even this coming year, there are some yoga teachers who are coming again.
Oh,
So they're
okay,
like they
okay.
signed up to come again for a second year in a row, which is really cool. Which means they love the food
Yes.
and they love the yoga teacher training stuff. So that was really cool. I'm glad that there's going to be some familiar faces again for 2025.
Yeah, nice. So what would Um, what were the challenges that you faced and how do you overcome them?
Mm,
Like,
yeah. So one of the challenges was the cleanup. Was a little bit more challenging. I think next year we're going to have people put their dishes in directly in the dishwasher because we had a bin for the dishes and we were doing all the dishes ourselves. So it might be nice to have like an assistant to help
yeah.
out with doing the dishes. That would save us a lot of time running the dishwasher and putting everything away, you know, that kind of thing. So that was one of the challenges that we want to change. Another one would would definitely be what we chatted about earlier about the portion
Mm.
sizes because I was worried that people weren't eating enough. So next year we're going to plate everything up for the people
Ah,
so they have enough food to satiate them. That's going to be something that we do, and yeah, that was pretty much all there was. We want to bring bigger bowls because the bowls that they had at the retreat house were so tiny.
yeah.
Like, ridiculous. I'm like, you need to eat like four of these
Yeah, I was
or
gonna say,
five,
I think you
right?
need like, I was gonna say you need 5 times the amount. You have to like, yeah, that happens to
Exactly.
me.
So, you know, when they have a small bowl, they only fill it
Mm.
halfway. And it's like, no, you have to come back for seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths. Like, you have to keep coming back to get more. So, next time we are going to invest in some bowls, some bigger bowls, bamboo bowls that are more portion sized for the people who are there. So, we'll just buy those. They're pretty inexpensive. Like, it's kind of like 99 Ranch. There's
Mhm.
another store called International Marketplace here in Las
Yeah, I
Vegas, and
think
they
maybe that,
have.
I wonder
Oh,
like
maybe
whether
they
that
do
was the one.
there.
Maybe.
I don't remember. Yeah, but we they have a really wide variety of the bamboo
Mm.
bowls. So they have like little tiny ones like this big, and then they have massive ones that are like, oh my gosh, they're probably like 24 inches in diameter. Like they're super, like 2 feet in diameter. They're really big, but they're, you know, pretty inexpensive. I think they're like $5 for
Oh, okay.
a decent sized bowl. So we'll, you know, we'll invest a chunk of cash on that, you know, so the people have enough, right? And they have a good sized portion. So we'll do that for them. But yeah, otherwise, I think we did pretty good. There wasn't too many challenges. Maybe like making sure that we took time to rest
Yeah.
because there were so many people asking questions and we were happy to help and do that. But we also needed to take like a break or a nap
Yeah.
or something in between all the prep. Because, you know, prepping for 16 people is a big
Yeah.
job for multiple days. And I see Sonia is asking in the chat, have you ever thought of opening a restaurant? We went over that earlier. It's not something that we want to take on just because like there's it's really sad to say, but there's a reason why raw food restaurants don't make it and so
Yeah.
many close because it's just really hard. It's easy to make it for yourself in your own home. Like it's really easy to do raw food, but when you start multiplying it by hundreds, you know, for hundreds of people, it gets to be a lot. Especially when you're making really cool things like wraps or tostadas or something, you need to invest in lots of dehydrators, like commercial
Yeah.
dehydrators, with tens of thousands of dollars. Um, and it's just not guaranteed. I mean, the two places that were in Las Vegas that had raw food, actually there was three places that had raw food. They've all closed in the last, you know, 4 years or whatever. The last one was Veg Nation. They were a vegan restaurant and they closed about a year and a half ago or a year ago. So it's just really sad that, you know, there's not enough people who, you know, go to these restaurants and support these places. So it's just not something that we're like thinking of doing. Like we've talked about it, but I
Yeah.
don't think that it's on the plan for us. We really want to empower and educate people to make it for themselves in their own home. You're right. You know, like that's where it's at. And that's why we joined the bundle. That's why we're part of the bundle. And we share all the content and we do these big sales because we want people to be able to get the recipes and make it for themselves. Like your beet Wellington. Oh my gosh. Like that's such a good recipe. And they get that in the bundle too. So like you get to learn so many amazing things. And it's like Nate and I really don't go out to eat. really. I mean, if we're traveling and we're in a different city that has a raw restaurant, we'll go visit and we'll support. But there's nothing here in Las Vegas for us to go to. And our food is amazing anyway. So we're like, let's just eat at home anyways, right?
Yes, I can vouch for that. I can personally vouch for that because when we traveled in the US for one whole month and we went to visit all the raw vegan restaurants that we knew of, and we still felt like your food was way better than
Oh, such an honor. Thank you so much. Oh,
I mean, some places, I mean, oh, the food was so dated, or it was just filled with avocado, lettuce, and tomatoes in every dish. I'm like, hello, guys,
I
catch up,
know.
catch up with
Yeah.
raw food romance.
Or they're using a lot of oil and salt.
Yeah.
No, and that's another thing too. It's like it's a lot of work to do it for lots of people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I said, it's easy to do it when you're at home, you're making it just for 2 or 4 people. But when it starts to be hundreds of people, it's like that's why they cut corners and they
Yeah.
have to make just a simple salad or, tacos with salsa and some guacamole with a sauce. Like those are easy things to make.
Yeah.
It's when you start getting into the really fun stuff that you can make it yourself really easily, that the restaurants just have a hard time doing because they don't have enough support, they don't have enough capital to invest in the dehydrators, and they don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Because the dehydrators for the wraps would have to be going 24/7, and we'd need
Yeah.
like multiple people making wraps every single day for to make enough for the people who want them. So yeah, it's just not something. I'm glad you love our stuff, though. I know John Kohler said that too. Chef AJ and John Kohler came over and we made wraps.
Oh,
for them.
yeah, yeah. I saw that recently, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and John was like, there's only 2 places that I'll eat. Here, my house and Lissa Nate's house. You're so much fun.
Yeah. So, we'll wrap up soon. So, wrap up.
You're awesome. I love you.
So, I know you have like 16 ebooks and courses in the bundle. So maybe you can just tell us, what they are, and then after that, we'll call it a wrap because I know
All right, we'll call it a wrap. Okay, I'm gonna bring up my list because there's 16 things, and I want to make sure that I get them all. So I'm gonna pull it up here so I can tell you exactly what's in the bundle. Before I begin, though, Sonia's asking, do you stick to mostly 10% fat? I recently had bloods that showed high cholesterol and thought I should cut cashew dressings. So cholesterol, yes, we try to stick to 10% fats and we still eat cashews. The only plant food that really could increase cholesterol is coconut. So unless you're doing a lot of coconuts, I wouldn't say it's the cashews necessarily, but also lower the cashews. Like, don't get rid of them. You could just lower them and then increase your omega-3s, like more chia, more flax, that kind of thing. But also high cholesterol can be from other things as well. So maybe like check in on that. But okay, let's go through 16 things. All right. Okay. Holiday menu volume 1, holiday menu volume 2, holiday menu volume 3. The volume 3 is brand new, just released. And by the way, you get everything that I'm saying here. Just pay $50 and you get to download all of them. Then there's Meal Plan Volume 3, which has 90 recipes in it. And Volume 3 is really nice for people who don't have a dehydrator because there's no dehydrator recipes in there. And it's also nut-free for people with nut allergies. So we just use young coconut, avocado, and seeds for fat sources in that one. Then you get the Hand Salads ebook, which has 34 wrap recipes with fillings and sauces as well. You also get the taco ebook, so you can make the tostadas, the tacos, the salsas, the sauces, all that good stuff. Then you get Party Food, which is our raw vegan appetizer ebook. Yeah, that's such a good one. I like the pepper nori sticks. We really need to make those. I've been wanting to make those.
Yeah, I made so many recipes from that. I love your there was your chips, right? And then the kale chips, that was so good. And then I made the jalapeno poppers, and then I made the cheeses, and then and then I made you had hot pepper jelly, and then you had everything bagel crackers from Party Food. It was so good.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you make them. You always do such a good job with photos and everything. So yeah, the appetizers, there's 50 recipes in that one. So yeah, I mean, if you think about it, even if you just bought it for the party food book, it's $1 a recipe, right? And then you get like thousands of other recipes too. So it's like such a great deal. Then you get, we have 4 video courses in this bundle. You get Checkmate Your Cravings. You get a live lunch, Nate's microgreens video course, teaching how to grow microgreens and sprouts, and his kitchen essentials video course, going over all of the kitchen tools that we like to use. You're also getting, on top of all that, you're getting Make It Raw Volume 2, which I wrote with Chef AJ. You're getting Tales from the Tailgate, which is our new ebook that we released over the spring. It's a nearly 300-page ebook with over 100 recipes, teaching how we plan and prep and pack and everything for camping, hiking, backpacking, adventures, road trips, air travel, resort stays, and all the things that we think of for traveling as raw vegans. So all of that's in there. There's links to all the gear that we use and all that fun stuff. Then there's Nate's, he's got his Wholesome Scoops Nice Cream book, which is for the Ninja Creamy, but he also has his regular Nice Cream book in there for the Vitamix, or you can use a food processor too. And
Inside scoops.
Yeah, the Inside Scoop and his Dude Food book. So that's 16. Whew, 16 things you get from us for $50. You got to get the bundle. The link is in the bio. So 2 days left. Only 2 days left.
Yeah, guys. So and I have now I feel like, oh, mine's so little.
You've got 3 awesome things in there. So I mean, just for your stuff and our stuff, I mean, it's worth it to buy the bundle, right?
Yeah. Like anybody wants to make raw vegan Korean barbecue, go get that. I have my Christmas showstoppers, which Lissa mentioned. There was my raw vegan beet Wellington, which she made last year, and she was eating it over the sink. So funny, the leftovers. I do that too. Sometimes I open it and then I'm just like standing there eating it. I'm like, I should be eating mindfully, but this tastes so good.
Totally. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, go check out the links in either of our bios. The bundle is only going to be available for 2 more days. It's a huge discount, and there's also other raw food chefs and creators there as well. Or if you're just whole food plant-based, there's also whole food plant-based ebooks. There's also cooked stuff as well. There's yoga, there's wellness, there's mindfulness. So yeah.
Yes.
Everything, I'm sure there's pretty much everything, something for everyone.
Yeah, agreed. And another thing I like to say, if people are raw vegan and they get the bundle, all of the cooked stuff they can make for their friends and family. That's something that's really cool. Like, you don't have to just get the raw food, but like all the other stuff you can make for your loved ones, or take to potlucks, or introduce people to just regular vegan food. And it's really helpful to help your family who may not be ready to do the raw, but the raw is there. There's, like you said, there's something for everybody in there. So it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, because like I made the cooked stuff, I make it for us, my partner, to eat as well. So yeah, we both benefit from the plant-based bundle.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love it.
Yeah, okay, so now we're gonna call it a wrap. It's so bad.
I love it. Yes, it's dinner time for us, and it's breakfast time
for us. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Lissa, for sharing all your tips and suggestions on how to, successfully cater for a yoga retreat, all raw food. And if you guys are watching the replay, just leave the comments below if you have any questions, and we'll answer them. And yeah, go check it out. The link is in either of our bios. All right.
Yes.
All
awesome.
Right. Have a good dinner.
Yes. Your happy breakfast.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.